Chiefs Kingdom, ACU crew, welcome back to another post-game podcast for that ass. Noah Gray shines for the Chiefs, but it's time we take a hard look at this team. Even though we're 10-1, Mike, what in the hell's going on around here?
10-1. I mean, celebrate it, I guess. I don't know what else to say.
They're the best team in football, brother.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. But watching this game versus the Panthers, there can't be anybody. There cannot be one single Chiefs fan that comes away from that game and says, boy, we sure did look awesome today.
We did, though. Win's a win, man. It's hard to win games in the National Football League. There's so much parity. Every team's very, very good. I mean, Andy Reid said himself, Mike, that the Panthers are a great team. They're very well coached, and they have great players. So, I mean, at least the Chiefs pulled the win out, down there in Carolina where it's really tough to win.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. Yeah, I know, man. You're going up against one of the best quarterbacks in football. I mean, this dude just come in and took the league by storm. Bryce Young is just like straight up Pro Bowl quarterback. I don't know. They just have a dominant offense all around. They just outclassed Spags in our defense. They made us look so bad today, but I mean, it's expected when you go up against such a juggernaut of an offense as the Carolina Panthers. So, I mean, I think you just have to keep your head up, man.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys being here post game. I mean, it's kind of the same old. It's a new week, but there's a win, but the team still looks like butt cheeks. Like, it's the same old stuff, man. We've been doing it all year long.
Same stuff. It's
appreciate
cool.
You guys being here, by the way. Do us a favor, hit the like button for us. Also, if you're new to the channel, stick around for a little while. See if you like it. Hit that subscribe button. Mike, we got a 5-bomb from Perry who says, how many times have we heard Reid say we need to run the ball more, and he doesn't? Panthers can't stop the run, and we want to drop back 48 freaking times. Absolutely, Perry. This is something that Andy Reid will never stop doing. He's done in his entire career, and he'll continue to do it all the freaking time. I'm surprised we've ran the ball as much as we have this season.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt ran the ball 16 times for 68 yards. He was averaging 4.3 yards a carry. Pretty good. You seen him even chunk off one over 13. It was about 13 yards, I think. We even see McCole Hardman get it on the running game. I'm glad he's picking up right there where that where Kadarius Toney left off. He left that huge hole in our running game. Remember we were using Kadarius Toney at running back in the off season. So I'm glad we found somebody to fill in for Kadarius Toney at running back, because that's exactly what we've needed to prove that we need to do here lately. I'm glad that's where the focus was. Samaje Perine, he got that one carry for 13, and then you see Carson Steele get a carry for 4. So we essentially take Mahomes out of the deal, and we ran the ball. We got over 100 yards running, and yet they still dropped back and passed the ball 40 times. And look, Mahomes played pretty well today. He played pretty well. I thought that Andy held true to what he said. He said he's going to go back this week. He's going to take some of those crazy motions out. He's going to simplify. He's going to get our guys playing faster. And I thought our offense, on the most part today, they did very well to the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, they did not execute. They did not put the game away. But other than that, I thought the offense looked better. We were starting to look more Chiefs-esque, if I may say so myself. And I thought we did a good job of utilizing our tight ends. Shout out Noah Gray, back-to-back 2-touchdown days. And I said that last night, Steve. I said we got to start using the tight end matchups, and if Kelsey don't have it anymore, let's start using Gray. And Gray is looking like he is starting to elevate himself in this offense.
Yeah, well, that's something we've been looking for the last few years. We know Kelsey's getting a little old and decrepit, so we know that sometime Noah Gray was going to have to step in and take that role on. I think you're starting to see it right now, guys. I don't know whether you want to be delusional or not, but you're starting to see a little bit of a handoff in that offense from Travis Kelsey to Noah Gray. I think it's been pretty apparent this season. Now, once we get to playoff time in the back half of the season, then yeah, I wouldn't doubt a bit if we don't start just peppering Kelsey again and giving him a huge workload. So don't be surprised if you see that. But I think we are starting to see a little bit more Noah Gray in the offense because we know that's what's coming in the future. But yeah, man, he played great. I thought Mahomes looked better for the most part today. The tackles were complete ass, but that's something that we've all known.
I am so pissed off at Chiefs Kingdom right now because they continually only want to spout the same BS about just go Wanye. Look, Wanye stunk today.
Yeah, Wanye
he played.
Butt
look,
cheeks.
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna make any excuses. He played his worst game of the season. He allowed 6 pressures, 3 hurries, a hit, and 2 sacks. And you did that on a week that just yesterday they announced they're going to sign DJ Humphries to come in here and take your job. And this is the BS you come out and pull. You know what? Put Wanye's ass on the bench because he don't want to play. If he wanted to play, he would have played better than that, knowing that they just signed your freaking replacement, or they're getting ready to on Monday. And your dumbass is going to go out here and pull that off. But not a single word of anybody except for Griffin right now saying that Jawan Taylor looks like complete ass at $80 million on the right side of the line. Jawan Taylor has allowed more sacks this year. He let up his 5th sack today. That is more than Kingsley Suamataia let up. Sorry, I'm irritated. Wanye lets up 2 today, and he puts up 5. But Jawan Taylor has also added, seriously, 11 penalties and single-handedly killed that drive there in the 4th quarter. This dude is a problem. We need a right tackle as well because he ain't doing it. 5 pressures, 3 hurries, 1 hit, and 1 sack on a defensive line, by the way, who couldn't sack anybody all year coming into this game, and they get 5 sacks. So right. Jawan Taylor is just as guilty as the other side.
They're paying him top dollar to get over there and suck butt.
That's my point.
So, I mean, it's insane.
So we all want to rage on the rookie. We want to rage on Wanye, who's a second-year guy. They're not making $80 million. They wasn't drafted to come in and set the world on fire. But we give this ass clown $80 million to come in and get penalty after penalty and do crap over and over horribly. And I'm just tired that he gets a pass and we're going to just shit on Wanye and everybody else. And let me tell you something. They stink. They absolutely stink, and DJ Humphries can't get here fast enough. But you've got to do something about the right side, too. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox, but I'm tired of it.
Shout out Brian Parrott for reminding me to play the beautiful music while Mike was on his
rant.
You
got to play it. Dude, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It's bad. And you know what? Like I said, Patrick Mahomes looked pretty good for the most part today, but he's still taking a lot of sacks this year that you don't normally see him taking. I don't know. Something's just, like I said, I think it has to be just a crappy offensive line play. I don't understand.
You just can't blame Mahomes, though, on a day that Mahomes is going to come out and throw for 269 yards, 3 touchdowns, and have a 120 QB rating. But he gets sacked 5 times because these guys can't even sit in the pocket and block a bunch of nobodies on the other side, dude. Jadeveon Clowney was eating Jawan Taylor's lunch, and Jadeveon Clowney absolutely sucks. Nobody wanted to touch this guy with a 10-foot pole in the offseason because he has no juice.
Yeah, he does. He was tearing it up today, man.
He revitalized his career today. I'm just so irritated with the way some of these dudes are playing. They're just playing like they don't give a crap.
Hey, the Chiefs hit 30. They hit 30 points.
They hit 30. They should have hit 40. And what's the deal with the defense? Okay, look, I get it. The defense is probably a little tired. But, dude, Chris Jones is obsolete. George Karlaftis cannot be found.
Awful today,
Mike Dana played a really good first half, disappeared in the second half. It is what it is. Felix still ain't doing nothing. Chamari Connor looks like flat-out garbage over the past 2 weeks.
Najee Johnson got...
Dude, Najee Johnson actually done okay today. 2 catches allowed, whatever. But, dude, Chamari Connor stinks. Over the past 2 weeks, I don't know what he's decided to do, but it's not play football. He's allowed 8 catches in 2 weeks and given up over 100 yards in 2 weeks. Add a penalty in the end zone that brings him all the way down, lets him score. Put on, 0 pass breakups, and go ahead and add 6 missed tackles to it. Because that's what Chamari's done for 2 weeks. So what's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
This whole team's fell asleep.
But let me tell you something. Bryce Young had more passing yards today than Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's so funny. Do you guys not see the trend?
No, he didn't. Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
He had 263. Mahomes had 269. I mean, he beat him by 6. That's a huge amount, man.
Okay, well, let's just say this. They had more passing yards in total.
Yeah, he ended up taking
249 to 226.
I don't know how Mahomes took 5 sacks, but somehow he still ended up with more because I think that comes off your passing yards. Actually, that may come off your rushing. I don't know.
Well, either way, it's embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing. But, I mean, do you not see a trend? Do you not see a trend? Every time we play a really bad team and a bad quarterback, whether it be Zach Wilson, Jordan Love when he wasn't that, just a lot of these, like, young kids that are not that great. Now you got Bryce Young. Every time we play them, they go into, man, this is the best they've ever played in their career. That's the best throw they've ever had. They're really starting to grow. They're starting to grow into the NFL quarterback role. No, it's not. The Chiefs just always
every
allow people to.
time.
It's insane.
This was the Zach Wilson game from last year.
Yeah, dude.
Guess what? Bryce Young's going to continue to suck next week, probably. It's just he looked great because he was playing the Chiefs. How did their offensive coordinator absolutely just take Spags to school today? This is 2 weeks in a row that Spags has had a horrible game plan. I don't know what he's trying to game plan around. I have no clue what he's trying to make up. The only thing I can think of, because he's not replaced Najee Johnson. He's just not. And look, Najee only allowed 2 catches today, but he could have let up 5 if they would have caught the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what he's game planning for. Trent McDuffie doesn't look as dominating. I mean, he looks okay, but Trent McDuffie's given up touchdowns every week now for the past 3 weeks, I think. It's just, right. I don't know what they're trying to compensate for, except for that the pass rush is just not getting home. And again, I don't even know how much Josh Uche played. I seen him on the field at least 1 snap, but I could not tell you how much he actually played.
I mean, the only time that he was relevant was when the guy jumped off sides, right?
Right. So what is the point of us going out and getting pass rushers and they just cannot get them on the field?
Yeah, I don't know. Just overall, man, just looking at the game, like I said, it's just, man, we knew it beforehand. We even made jokes, well, they'll probably keep it close because it doesn't matter who the Chiefs are playing. They have to make it difficult.
It's sad.
It is, though. It's just getting a little bit sad and pathetic. I mean, the fact that this team's been romped on, made fun of all year, they are the epitome of worst team in the NFL. And you go out and do this. I mean, come on. I mean, people's already questioning you. They've been calling you frauds all year.
Thanks, Flex. You know what? Me and Steve have this debate sometimes, and we had it today. We got on here right before this started, and I said, Steve, we're in a lose-lose situation. If we come out here and we say the Chiefs, what are we supposed to do? There are mega church channels all over here just blowing smoke up y'all's ass, telling you how good the Chiefs look, and they're going to go ahead and make the excuses. Well, it's the regular season. Andy Reid's holding back. If I'm tired of hearing that shit, okay? Andy Reid ain't holding nothing back. You don't have McCole Hardman playing quarterback versus the Panthers in week 12 and take a run up the middle and tell me Andy Reid's holding stuff back for the playoffs. Come on. McCole Hardman's running a QB option play and we're telling us that they're holding stuff back. Get out of here. Why are we doing this? So I'm glad. But we say we're in a lose-lose situation because if we tell it how it is, we offend 75% of the people that just want to have smoke blown up their ass. And then the other 25% just, they're fine with it, but then they'll find a reason to hate us too. So it's a tough line to walk. It really is.
Well, you have the real people that use their own eyeballs and kind of see what's going on here. And I mean, obviously, if you try to blow smoke up
but at the end of the day, Steve, what is this channel? We said we wanted to get on here and have fun. We wanted it to be 2 brothers having a conversation about the Chiefs and just let the world watch it.
Yeah.
And guess
what? This is a conversation we'd be having.
This is a conversation we'd be having. And if you are a football knower and you are a true Chiefs lover, you should be having this conversation because they look like ass.
It's so bad.
There's no sugarcoating it.
No. I mean, there are some highlights there. I mean, there's some good things you can pick from the game.
There are great things to look at, but there are some bad things that are glaring.
See you later, officials world. We'll miss you so much.
This is the same clown that came on last week and said something. Why is he even back?
I don't know. Go watch
Who's
something
officials
else.
world? Where's he at?
No, but I mean, for real, that's the thing. We've been, it's literally I kind of feel like Andy Reid at this point. You have to say the same thing every week.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. I'm unsubscribed. Who cares?
Here,
Go unsubscribe. I don't care. I'll help you unsubscribe. Stay block him.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. I don't feel like it.
I'm not even going to waste my time.
I got it.
Somebody go get him. I don't even care what he says anymore. If I cared, whatever.
I feel like Andy Reid, though. I have to say the same things every week. And this is the same thing that I've said all year long is, oh, hey, you have to be happy. We're 10-1 or 9-1 or
I just get tired of hearing that.
Yeah, it's like eventually they have to turn it around a little bit. I don't know if we got these, so let's get these real quick. 2-bomb from Greg Goodwin says we're playing like crap on both sides of the ball.
Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Gamer player with the 5-bomb said, oh my God, does every Chiefs fan feel the same as I do?
Nope. Clown world. He's living in clown world over there.
Hey, you did that twice, by the way, gamer player. Appreciate the 10 that you gave us. Thanks for the support. Doug with the 5 bombs. His offense looked pretty good 3/4, but team looks tired overall. Just saying they don't have any pop. They don't have any.
Weird with the defense. I think it could be
I
tiredness.
I think
right?
it's the team as a whole. I think might be the main thing that's missing from this team all year long. Like we're sitting at 10-1, and I've not seen one game where they look like they gave a rat's ass.
You think it's the rigors of the tough seasons though? And then like we're just at that midpoint of the season where it feels like a drag in, drag out. We've probably already locked up the playoffs, right?
Right.
So you feel like they're just not feeling motivated.
They have not looked motivated all season,
Right.
but they have every reason to be motivated. I mean, you're going after history here. It's supposed to be a good season, but that's the thing. Are they going to do that thing where they just turn it on at the very end? I don't know. Yet to be seen. Hannah with the 10 bomb says, number 1, need to watch all 22 film to confirm, but it's not all offensive line. Mahomes has happy feet and moves out of the pocket when it's holding, doesn't trust tackles.
Yes.
I think that goes both ways. I think the reason why he's like that is because his tackles suck ass. And I think that's definitely something that we've talked about all year, but I don't know if it's been talked about enough. The fact that I think he's all the way in his head.
Yeah,
and then
both ways. They both do it.
Number 2, the secondary worries me. They didn't up until the last couple of weeks, and I feel like the defense as a whole has looked a little weak.
I don't think you can not say with a true honesty. I'm not going to try to sit here and sell you that Josh Williams is a good quarterback too, a corner too, that he's the best, whatever. But our defense looked better when he was a starter for 2 weeks than it has with Najee the last 3.
Yeah, Nazee's not it, bro. I love Najee Johnson, but I
I'm
will
going to
say
tell you right
that
now. Like, I'm not trying to be a
honest
Josh
here.
Williams homer.
He's
but
not
the
it.
defense looked better. And you can't say, oh, it was against Tampa Bay. Who cares? This was against the Panthers.
Yeah. And number 3, Young played his best NFL game, which is like we were talking about earlier. Every bad quarterback plays their best NFL game against the Chiefs. It's starting to be a trend, and you have to ask yourself why. Why is that? Evil Caspero with the 2 bombs says, I agree with the O-line being the root cause. I mean, I think at this point, like we've talked about 9 million different things. The only thing that makes sense is these tackles are butt, and Mahomes knows they suck. He has to get out there and say he's got confidence in them and all this stuff, and they'll get it right. But I know in his head he's just like the rest of us. Like, dude, can we do something about these guys?
Yeah.
They suck.
Steve, tackles today between Jawan Taylor and Wanye Morris allowed 11 pressures, 6 QB hits. Oh, no, I take that back. 6 QB hurries, 2 QB hits, and 3 sacks today. That's just our offensive tackles, by the way. And left tackle, Wanye, may be getting replaced here soon. But again, what's the deal with Jawan Taylor? Wanye's not the one that was brought in here in the offseason given $80 million to.
Just get his ass out of here. Like at this point, I mean,
maybe
what are
we
you
should
doing?
maybe we should put DJ Humphries at left tackle, take Wanye, kick him to right, because he'd probably do better on the right side rather than on his blind side, and then sit Jawan Taylor's ass on the bench. Or better yet, just put Kingsley in at right tackle. I think he's more equipped to play right side anyway.
Something. Perry with another 2.
I feel like Jawan Taylor just needs a wake-up call.
Perry says Cook needs to go as well. Let the young guys play. I guess you're talking about Brian Cook. I mean, he's not the greatest in coverage. I will say that. He's not been what they thought he was going to be. He was a questionable pick anyway, in my opinion. Like back when they drafted him. When they drafted him, it was kind of one of those head scratchers. But no, he hasn't been great. But he is a young guy. That's the funny part. And, I mean, he's young. And then you got Jamari Connor. Wasn't playing that great.
Gameplay, what are you talking about? Nobody said you were in Clown World. We're talking about a guy that's name was actually Clown World.
No, it was Officials World. You said it should be called Clown
Yeah,
World.
and I said it should be called Clown World.
Yeah.
None of that was directed at you, gamer player. Like, I don't know how you got those wires crossed, but
Hannah with the 2 says y'all are not negative. This win worries me a lot. But yeah, the win worries you a lot. It's crazy. I don't know how else to frame this up other than, man, what in the hell's going on? Jaquan with the 2 bomb says, I love this channel. Y'all the only honest channel. It does seem that way sometimes. I mean, we could get on here and beg you guys to, send us your paychecks while we pump your heads full of whatever and just make you think that everything is all fine and dandy. But I mean, the honest thing is here.
I don't know how gamer player got the wires crossed on that one, but somehow he thought we were raging at him instead of the guy we banned.
It's okay, gamer player.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, nobody's head's in the right space right now. We're all a little angry.
Yeah, I mean, overall, just an embarrassing win. If you can have an embarrassing win, this is it.
Wasn't it undeserved? I felt like, honestly, at the end of the day, I kind of wish the Chiefs would have just took the freaking L because they deserved it and let the Panthers have one.
As a hardcore Chiefs fan that does not want the Chiefs to ever lose a game, I'm not kidding you. When they tied the game up with that 2-point conversion, there was a moment where I was just like, you know what? I kind of hope Carolina, will this wake them up? Nothing else has woke them up yet.
You feel bad that you stole one from Bryce Young and the Panthers in front of their home crowd and their family?
I will say this, and I'm not making excuses. I'm not making excuses at all because the Chiefs are not good. Like, they're good, but they're not good. I don't know. It's a freaking anomaly. It's like I don't know. But I will say the referees were doing their damnedest to make sure that Carolina was hanging around in this game. Like, over and over and over again, we saw bad calls, just blatant bad calls. And
that Justin Reed play in the back of the end
zone,
zone,
was the best hit we've seen all year. That was pathetic.
With his helmet. The helmet never touched. And then they're going to get Gene Steratore to come on and try to do some BS crap. And try to make it sound like it was a good hit.
Helmet grazed the face mask.
Look, that officiating crew was garbage.
Bad.
They were
bad. And they wanted to call face guarding on our corners all game long, like give the pass interference, but they didn't do it when it was Xavier Worthy being the victim of it. It's just like over and over again.
19 penalties today.
Dude, it was bad.
9 on the Panthers, 10 on the Chiefs.
They were still in the show.
Yeah, for literally 140 yards. They had more yards on the officiating than we had on our offense almost. Like, come on.
Let's see. Hannah with another 2 says Taylor was the most penalized NFL player last year. Wonder why. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's another thing. I said Brian Cook was a weird pick when it happened, and it was kind of a head scratcher. The signing of Jawan Taylor for how much they paid him was the biggest head scratcher. Mike, you remember it was before
as fast as they
it was before free agency even officially took off.
And then they uttered the words, "He may play left tackle." If that dude was our left tackle, oh my God! If you see that his numbers are just as comparable or worse than a second-year guy in Wanye Morris, and this guy's supposed to be an $80 million right tackle, God forbid if that cat has to step on the left side of the field. Patrick Mahomes is going to get sawed in half.
Right. So back when the Chiefs reinforced the entire offensive line because of the Tampa Bay Chiefs Super Bowl game, like that year in the offseason, Brett Veach was like, "Yeah, that was embarrassing. Let's shore up this thing." They drafted a lot of guys. Of course, that's why the interior offensive line is as good as it is now with Tooney, Creed, Trey Smith. But why did they just refuse to even really look at the tackle position, and why do they still kind of look at it as an afterthought? They took Kingsley on a flyer in the second round. That's about the most they've put into it. Otherwise, it's been sign whoever they can sign and throw them in there. And the only time that they actually could have invested in a left tackle, which obviously not the greatest, but I mean, Orlando Brown was functional as a left tackle. He was light years ahead of Wanye Morris and Kingsley. But I mean, he got ran out of town by not I think Chiefs Kingdom played a part in that. They hated him. He was so bad, apparently. But now you're starting to see what bad really looks like. And sometimes the grass isn't always greener. But do you think that, Brett Veach, did they drop the ball on, focusing on the tackle position? Because they did try to reinforce the offensive line. They added a lot of pieces, but they've yet to really invest in the tackle. Other than Jawan Taylor's dumbass.
Yeah, here's the thing with tackle, though. I feel like tackle's a tough position to invest in because when you take some big swings and miss in the offseason, like the time that maybe Laramie Tunsil come available, or you had, Trent Williams become available and he went to the 49ers. You don't get those big guys but ever so often. You get 1 or 2 chances to catch a big fish like that every 5 years. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. Otherwise, you got to hit it in the draft because it just feels like it's tough to do. Where do they go from here to try to get that?
Several years now where we've thought maybe they could use some draft capital, trade up, get a good guy in the
That's my thing I was going to say.
And they've yet to even consider
right now, even with all of our injuries, would the Chiefs have been better to have given up our first-round pick and maybe even the first next year that's probably going to be 29, 30, 31, 32, 2 first-round picks possibly to get up and maybe grab to Alt or one of those big tackles in the top 10 to 12 picks? Even the cat that fell all the way down the board to like a Troy Fatanu fell to like 18 or 20 or something like that, and you just could have moved up just 7 more spots and grabbed him instead of Worthy. I would have look. I like Xavier Worthy, and I think he's progressing just fine.
Yeah,
but if
he's
you
doing
took
well.
Worthy off the team and put a left tackle on there, I still think the Chiefs' offense is probably more productive at this point.
Potentially. I don't know, though.
I don't think potentially has nothing to do with it. I think if you put a good left tackle on this team and had to remove Worthy off the team, I would gladly trade Worthy for a left tackle that was competent.
Gamer player with the 10 says, just mad about the play today all season. 10-1. I'm spoiled, but damn. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that. We're all spoiled. I mean, they're 10-1. What do you have to complain about? But that's the thing about it. It's like, I don't care that the team is 10-1. Like, to me as a Chiefs fan, I'm not like looking at, man, my team was 10-1 at one point in the season.
Right.
So what a win.
Obsolete, dude.
That's a win. We'll take it. I don't care about that. I care about being a good team that's playing well, that's executing well, that looks disciplined, that has good schemes, like going into the playoffs and winning another Super Bowl. Like, yes, they've won back-to-back. 3-peat's far-fetched. But it is attainable with this team. It's just got to get to where it needs to be. And I mean, you're talking about making history here. We're talking about winning Lombardis. I'm not talking about being 10-1. Like, how many bad, crappy, just not good football teams have been 9-1, 10-1, 12-0, whatever.
The Eagles did it last year.
You see it all the time. People having good records, but they don't do nothing because they weren't a good team. It's just the way things fell.
Right. I feel like Buffalo, teams like that, they'll all the time have good records, but then when they get in the playoffs, they're just not.
Right.
They can't
Horned
do it.
up with the 5 bombs says, thank God we have the Fed in our back pocket or we would have lost. Man.
No, I think the Fed's here to investigate the Chiefs getting all the calls.
They might
covered it up.
The Feds might be there to investigate the robbery of Juwan Taylor of the Kansas City Chiefs organization.
I think so too. I think there was an extortion happening.
Greg Goodwin with another 2 says, no playoff win playing like girls flag football. This team does not look like a team that I would trust in the playoffs right now.
At this day,
if they're playing,
if the playoffs started tomorrow, they're not there. I'm sorry, they're not. Now,
no,
could they get there?
Buffalo
I think they will.
Or Baltimore. There's so many teams that could just knock you off easy if you're going to play like this.
Right, but we've got weeks to get it together. That's the positive.
That's what we talk about. That's why we talk about it. That's why we bring it up.
The offense is slowly but surely shifting back towards normal. They're taking.
It's very slow. It's a slow pace.
It's like a 7-year itch, is what it feels like. These dudes, that's how slow they're taking to get back to normal. But the defense, sadly, on the other spectrum,
they're regressing.
Is falling.
Yeah, they're regressing big time.
And so, whatever reason that is, like Spags has to figure out what that is. Is it because is it? I honestly think it's just because our defensive line's not getting home.
Yeah,
look, with no pressure on a quarterback, you're going to expose the corners that maybe aren't as good.
The handful of plays you saw today where they actually got pressure on Bryce Young, he didn't play well, and they weren't doing that great. Like, that's the name of the game in the NFL. You got to put pressure on the quarterback.
Did you ever think with the Chiefs versus the Panthers, did you ever think that the first punt of the game wasn't going to come to the third quarter? I think's what it was.
I don't know.
Crazy?
Yeah.
What?
Evil Caspero with the 5 bomb says, I just want the Chiefs to find a way in themselves to get better. Absolutely. And that's the thing, like you were just talking about it. The defense is regressing. Normally, when they hit the halfway point of the season, that's when they take off under Steve Spagnuolo. That's when they start to get better. But hopefully there's still time for that to take place and we'll see a complete flip here. But it looks like they are trending down, which is not good at this time of the year. And you look back at the team last year, our defense last year was very, very good. And it's funny because there were some pieces there that we don't have now, but there wasn't that many. It's pretty much the same defense. By all means, I mean, we lost L'Jarius Sneed. Look at what he's done in Tennessee. Absolutely nothing. He's not that great outside of the Spag system. And that's something we talked about. Now he's on the IR. He ain't done nothing. Right. It's like, so what are the differences? I mean, it's not that different. So, but the defense does look worse than last year. And I think the offense is a better team than they were last year. Not that they're performing better, but I mean, they have pieces now. They have much better players, but it's just not showing up. And it's just like, when does a team start to click? And I guess the thing about it and what kind of frustrates me and probably a lot of you guys, if we're being honest here, it's not that I don't think that they will get there or that they can't get there or that they're a bad team in general. I just feel like there's no sense of urgency for them to get to where they're going. Like, it almost feels like we've been sitting around in limbo for weeks now, playing the same type of football that's just very unmotivated and lacking in execution and just letting bad teams pretty much beat you. I mean, they could have lost a lot of more games than they've lost. I mean, Denver had them dead to rights.
Yes.
I think Carolina could have very easily won this game. We're not talking about good football teams here. We're not, and these teams could have had you beat. So I feel like there's no sense of urgency there. Like I said, I feel like every week in and week out, you hear the same excuses from the coaching staff, from the players, and nothing changes, and they just go in and do the same thing next week. Is that what's frustrating everybody, like it is me, or am I just talking? What do you think, Mike?
No, dude, it's all frustrating. But I'm telling you, the one thing that is really frustrating me more than anything is I can't get over it. It's the offensive line play, but it's specifically coming from Jawan Taylor. It's specifically coming from Jawan Taylor. Like, it's bad, dude. Look, in the past 3 weeks, you mentioned this, Denver, Buffalo, Carolina. In the past 3 weeks, Jawan Taylor has allowed 11 pressures, 5 hurries, and 4 sacks in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He didn't even allow that many pressures the first 6 games of the season. So, like, for some reason, he's decided to regress. And again, he's not a second-year guy that has the body to play a guard that we're having to kick out to left tackle, the hardest offensive line position. He's not a rookie out of BYU that really isn't suited to play left tackle either. He's probably more of a right tackle. Okay, this is a guy that we paid $80 million to at free agent to protect Patrick Mahomes. And this dude is allowing more people to get to Patrick Mahomes than anybody. And then that's not even counting his 4 penalties over the last few weeks that have been drive killers. So I cannot give Jawan Taylor a pass. And I don't think anybody else should. I know everybody wants to focus on Wanye Morris and Kingsley in the left tackle position, but I think the right tackle position is more of a problem right now because you got an $80 million free agent veteran that's not doing it.
Yeah, and I think he's benefiting from the left tackle dilemma because people are overlooking him. I mean, to be honest, is the coaching staff overlooking it, though? I don't know. We'll see.
They better not be.
Yeah, Horned Up with the 5 bomb says, refs not feds. I still can't type. Yeah, the refs did give the game to the Chiefs.
The feds. Though. I thought you were talking about the feds and the.
Yeah, me too. Appreciate it, Horned Up, though. Thanks for the support, my man. Orlando Sabbath with the 5 bomb says, if we have known for 2 seasons our tackle situation was not good, then why hasn't Andy adjusted with quicker developing plays? That's another thing.
We usually do that, though, right? That's what they got back to in the first half.
Well, Mike, what's something that you talked about the other day when we had Charles Goldman on the show was, okay, so you have a problem at left tackle, and you have a young guy at left tackle, and Kingsley's starting the season out. Wanye had some injury concerns. They started the rookie over there at left tackle, and what did they do? They put him on an island over 75% of the time. He was on an island more than anybody else in the entire NFL. And that's what you did to help your rookie left tackle? One of the hardest positions in the entire league with a big leap from college to NFL. He played at BYU, for God's sake. And what you did to help him get comfortable was to go up against Trey Hendrickson on an island 75% of the time. I just don't think the coaching staff is seeing little things here and there.
Jason Oweh the week before.
Yeah, it's like it's wild. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you, Orlando. I feel like they could be – if you have a problem, then try to cover the problem. Not like they're highlighting it. They're just letting it happen. It's kind of strange. But the 2 bomb from Horned Up says this win was worse than a loss to the Bills.
I think like
it's equal. It is equal. You could put a W up or an L, but I think it might be worse because you were literally like, that's the thing about it. And well, I was talking to somebody that don't really watch football that much upstairs, and while I was watching the game, and it's like, to put this into perspective, this team is a laughing stock. This is a team that people beat on. This is a team that people think sucks. They think they are the worst of the worst in the NFL. And this is how the Chiefs are barely beating them. And the Chiefs.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Chiefs.
No.
Because I'm hearing that. According to everybody else, we're the biggest frauds ever. We stink.
Well, I mean,
I thought you were literally explaining what the league thinks about the Chiefs.
That's what Carolina is. They're the worst team in football. Everybody knows that. They're a poorly run organization. They don't have anything together.
Are they worse than the Titans, though?
Yes.
Maybe.
I think so.
I'd love to see that game. I think the 2 worst teams in football should battle it out, to see who gets the number 1 pick at the end of the year. It'd be like an extra bowl game.
But Mike, you brought it up. You said everybody's been calling the Chiefs frauds all year, and they have.
We prove it. We can.
Right. So why would you go out against the worst team in football and put up that type of performance?
It's just effort. It's effort. It's execution. It's undisciplined. Look, I'm sorry. I've never seen the Andy Reid team be this kind of undisciplined the way they are with the stupid penalties. Look, Jawan Taylor, hands to the face, whatever. You even had Josh Williams, another special teams. I like Josh Williams' ability, but when he's on special teams, he's now got 3 penalties on special teams. And look, I thought that they called that too quick because he ran out of bounds, but he was getting back in bounds. Like, what do they expect you to do? You can't just stop running and jump back in bounds. Like, I think that was stupid. It had no effect on the play or anything. I think they're just nitpicking. This officiating crew was the biggest nitpickers I've ever seen in my life.
It was bad. It was really bad. Gamer player with another 5 bomb. Appreciate you, brother. He says Pacheco and Omenihu, maybe Hollywood. Will that make a difference getting them back? So yes and no, in my opinion. I feel like Omenihu is going to bring you some pass rush that we're lacking big time. We think that's one of the biggest problems on defense is we're not getting any pressure on the QBs. So yes, Omenihu can help there. Pacheco can maybe bring some of that spark back. We said this team looks like they're lackadaisical.
Yeah, we can't get Omenihu back fast enough, can we?
Right. Well, maybe the energy of Pacheco can help give the rest of the team some energy. Maybe it can be infectious. I don't know. Hollywood might be back. We'll see about that. Honestly, right now, I think Hollywood's probably the least effective of these 3. Like, I feel like we need the other 2 back more. But I'll take Hollywood. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I don't think that Pacheco, Omenihu, and even Hollywood Brown, if you got them back, all 3, could Band-Aid the failures that we're seeing all year long. Like, it's not just there's this problem.
So
there's a lot of problems.
You think Pacheco would make more of an impact on this team right now than Hollywood?
Yes.
Why?
The only reason I say
just
that
for
is
the
because
spark?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
can
his
somebody
attitude?
Can somebody get out there and look like they give a rat's ass?
Honestly,
it'd be great to see.
If you look at it in a football perspective, I feel like Hollywood being able to get open a little bit more in man coverage could maybe help.
Could it?
But if you're
Does
not
it matter?
blocking for him,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got Mahomes running around like a chicken with his head cut off back there. I don't think it matters. He's missing wide open receivers right now because he can't get comfortable. So, I don't know if that really matters. Jay with the 5 bomb says that was a freaking joke and disappointing. Didn't feel like a win at all. 100% Jay. I think that's just where most of the Chiefs' kingdom's at right now.
If you take out the fact that Carolina was just moving the ball at will, and it was basically just in the middle of the field, between the 20 and the 20.
Disgusting to see, though, right?
Once they got in the red zone, the Chiefs in the first half played pretty well.
Right.
You had to take away penalties. Offensive was just nothing but penalties. They were shooting themselves in the foot, and that's execution, and that is undisciplined. So if you take that out and whatever else, the Chiefs could have won this game 40-9 by the time it was over with.
Absolutely.
But we just didn't do that, and
they
instead,
also could have lost the game as well.
and you could have blew it out. You could have lost it. How many games do you have where that could be like a thin line between blowout and loss?
Right. And I'm getting ready to talk about a guy, but first off, thoughts and prayers out to Jatavion Sanders. That was pretty nasty looking. I hope he's okay.
He landed right on his head.
Yeah, I hope he's good. I hope everything's okay there. But I was getting ready to bring him up. Like, if he hadn't got injured and left the game, he was playing very well. He's one of the bigger pieces they've been using. That's a guy that we talked about, Mike, and I'm just going to throw this out there. We could have had him. That's somebody we thought the Chiefs liked. They did interview him in the draft process, but they passed on him even though he dropped and went with Jared Wiley. Hindsight's 2020, I suppose, with that one. But we'll see how that all plays out. But I wanted to bring him up because they lost one of their main weapons of the game and still were able to claw back in there and tie it up. So it's just like this team has, not only are they bad and they're not good, but they also had no weapons. They were very banged up. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of their team was injured, and the Chiefs still just struggling, man. So I'm with you, Jay. It don't feel like a win.
Did Miles Sanders end up playing for them after they said he wasn't going to?
No, he's on IR.
Oh, it was
Jatavion Sanders.
Jatavion. Okay, yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, when he caught that ball on the sideline that one time, I was like, wait, did Miles Sanders get back in here? But I forgot Jatavion Sanders plays.
Yep, horned up with the 5 bombs. Says the play where Taylor left Clowney from way back behind.
He let him retrace way back to it's when
I know, I'm trying to think of the play right now while I'm reading, my bad.
It's when he blocked him and then he just kind of let him go.
I don't know. I saw a lot of piss poor effort from
There's
Wanya
a lot of
today
bad
too,
effort plays.
where he just kind of like he didn't even like. Sometimes he just reach out and touch a guy and let him go get him, and like stuff like it's just like man, there was a lot of bad offensive line play. So I can't think of that play in my head, but obviously you do, Mike. Appreciate the 5 horned up.
Did Xavier Legette impress you today?
Yeah, I think he looks good. Actually,
Would you have still taken Xavier Worthy over Xavier Legette?
It's a discussion.
Oh,
It's a discussion. I think Xavier Worthy's doing great, though, by the way. Daniel Coe with the 2 bomb says, another dominating blowout. Let's freaking go. Yeah, baby. Chiefs are killing it, son. They're looking like a three-peat type team, aren't they? Out there just shredding it up. Mike, Daniel Coe wants to help you write the post-game short script.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Hannah with another 2 says 9 penalties
Don't you
for 90
feel like,
yards.
wait a second, before you read Hannah, I'm sorry. When I come out, I do this every week saying we blow teams out.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to do it again today.
But doing it versus the Panthers,
you almost
just
feel bad
feels
doing
wrong.
it, don't you? Hey, you have to do it, though.
I don't even want to do it. Should I just give Panthers a lot of credit today?
No, man. It's just you have to bite the bullet and do it.
I just feel like it's not as funny when it's the Panthers.
Anyway, Hannah, 9 penalties for 90 yards. We're playing undisciplined. Absolutely. I mean, some of those were ticky-tacky, kind of dumb, but, I mean, at the same time, quit putting yourself in those positions. I mean, Mike, we've talked about that a million times on this channel over the years, but, like, the Chiefs are too good of a team to be putting themselves in positions where the referees can even affect a game. But they continue to do it. And if you play a game like you did today, and you're in the playoffs, and you're playing a good team like the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills, you might get bit. You might get bit by a bad referee call that could cost your entire season.
We've said that, man. When you
But that's
leave it
why
close,
you cannot leave it like that. Get out there, put your big boy pants on, and win a damn game convincingly. That is what the Chiefs have to do. They've not done it in years, it seems like, other than the Chicago Bears last season. But that is something that I think Andy Reid really has to take a hard look in the mirror and be like, man, we have got to start winning convincingly and, like, not letting stupid things dictate outcomes of games.
Yeah, I agree. We've said that over and over again. Years past, we've said that. You can't keep it close all the time because you're allowing what happens in the final. Like, look, what happens if week 1 they go to the replay and they say, no, he had his toe in bounds? Right?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's been all
You left
kinds
it
of,
in the hands of the officials.
if they would have called pass interference on Kyle Pitts there in the Atlanta Falcons game.
Right.
There's so many, and
There's
you
so
wonder,
many things that have
you
went
wonder
our
why
way
like
because of official
stupid
stuff.
slap nut casuals run with the
Yeah.
Chiefs get the calls thing. It's because we put ourselves in that position every daggone week.
Right. Just blow
So no
somebody
matter
out
which,
to where that don't make a
no matter
difference.
which way a call goes, it's gonna look bad on you. But yeah, man. Jeez. It just sucks to get on here at 10-1 and have to talk about stuff the way we have to talk about it. Like, I would rather just be happy and be like, man, we're 10-1, best record in football, in the driver's seat to the 1 seed. We're going to go 3-peat. Now, I would love to just be happy about it and, like, be pumped. But it's just hard to feel confident in a team that's looking the way this one's looking. Like, they're definitely leaving way too many unanswered questions out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. I feel like we've exhausted the idea that the Chiefs just are not playing up to standards. They don't look fired up. Again, I'm going to just go ahead and go back to, like, Wanye. There was news yesterday that broke that said, you're signing DJ Humphries to come in and take your job. If I tell anybody in this chat, guys, we're hiring your replacement unless you go out there and you start doing better at your job. And then you go out there and half-ass it like that. Like, did you even want to be there in the first place?
It almost seemed like you just
with yourself?
It almost seems like you just gave up. Like, oh well, they signed another guy, so
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
just gonna
fight
be here.
for it by any means.
Yeah.
Don't show anybody any fire and fight because this team don't have it.
Yeah,
That's the most frustrating part of it. And
Right.
somehow I feel like that falls on coaches. Sometimes I feel like Andy can get a little too even keeled, and it just doesn't translate over. But I get it. You can be the opposite spectrum, true. Like, you can be the ass clown that is Nick Sirianni as well.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to find a fine line here, but I feel like this is always just the moral of the story, right? Every time we have a disappointing loss, it's always at the end of the day, the Chiefs just didn't look like they wanted it. Even last week against Buffalo, Buffalo looked like they were playing a playoff game.
Well,
we
I
looked
mean,
like we were just
a
showing
lot of
up.
these disappointing wins are the same way. you
Yeah.
know? It's weird that you have to say disappointing wins, but I mean they really are sometimes. But we've talked about a lot of negative, so let's get to some positive here. Real quick before we do that,
We have not.
appreciate you guys being here in the therapy session, the ACU therapy session. We're all here. It's a safe place. Get in here and let your feelings out and all that good stuff. But do us a favor, please hit the like button for us. It just takes a second. Please go do that for us. And also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hang out with us more often. We ain't gonna shove no sponsors down your throat today, but I'm going to throw in this 25-second ad. Go get yourself some nice Christmas gear from the ACU store. Christmas is right around the corner, and we've brought back the popular Merry Chiefsmas sweater and hoodie in the store. Just go to merch.allchiefedup.com and you can use the code ACUSANTA. That's ACUSANTA, and you can get 20% off of everything in the store until the end of the year. So get your hands on those and give some gifts to your family and friends. Yep. So let's get to the positive, Mike. Just real quick before we do, Hannah with the 2 bomb says better if we lost because we playing like we don't care. Yeah, Hannah, that was kind of the sentiment I had where at a certain point when they tied that game up, I was just like, is it better for this team to take this loss to Carolina right now? To get embarrassed nationally? I mean, this is already embarrassing, but you can kind of skate by.
Wasn't that kind of like with the Bills? I feel like there was no embarrassment to lose to the Bills. Like that was a good team. But if you got handled by a game that you should have blown out and you had in your possession and you allow them to come back in the fourth quarter.
To the worst team in football.
That's what I'm saying. Like that maybe would have lit a fire, I guess.
That's what they needed.
guess they escape. Look, there's still plenty of chances for them to crap the bed because we got a tough schedule. The Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders again on Black Friday. I'm telling you, the Raiders on Black Friday is not a given.
The Texans and the Steelers is scary at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to move on to the positive, and there's not like a lot of positive to talk about other than the team won. You know, we're 10-1, so that's great. That's a positive. I think the biggest positive that we've seen from today is Noah Gray. I think it has to be that we still have good tight end play in this building after Travis Kelce's gone. I think that's something that we can feel a little bit more confident in. We're starting to see him come into his own. We're starting to see him utilized more. And you're starting to see that Noah Gray can be a very, very, very good, effective tight end in this league. And we've seen it 2 weeks in a row now, and I think they're going to continue to use Noah Gray. It's nice to have that other piece there, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, for sure. Carl, I just want Carl with some kind words, some gas, if you will. 384 people watching. That's just YouTube. So there's a bunch on X and we cross platforms, Facebook as well. But it is kind of sad that YouTube. I don't know where everybody's at.
YouTube's been a bit of a dud this year.
I'm telling you where everybody's at. Everybody's just going and listening to what they want to hear, which is not the truth. But we're going to give you the truth. Whatever. It might not be popular, but we're going to do it. But yeah, Steve, positive. Noah Gray, 100% positive, man. I think Noah Gray has to get more involved in this offense. Noah Gray kind of feels like the opposite of what you see from Wanye, right? I feel like at the beginning of the year, everybody was like, oh, Jared Wiley. Jared Wiley's the heir apparent to Kelsey. Noah Gray took that personal. Noah Gray's had a heck of a season this year.
Mike, it's just one of them things where it's like, no offense to anybody, but there is a big chunk of the fan base that it's like if it doesn't slap them in the face, they don't see it. They're not digging. They're not looking. They're just kind of observing, right? It's like, did the Chiefs win this week? Yeah, cool. Or like whatever. But we've been trying to tell people for years now, like Noah Gray, there is a lot to Noah Gray. Noah Gray is very Travis Kelce-esque. There's a lot to his game you haven't seen because he hasn't got the opportunities. Noah Gray is going to be the heir apparent to Travis Kelce. You can only say that so many times, and then when people start to see it, they're like, oh, yeah, this Noah Gray guy is good. It's like, come on, bro.
And nobody kind of caught on until Brett Veach gave him the contract extension here at the beginning of the season. Remember that one?
Right.
So, and then people kind of figured it out. But, yeah, the dude's pretty good. I mean, that's all I can say. He's pretty good. So, I think that's a positive.
Pretty good.
That's a positive. Another positive, I thought that Mahomes today did something I've been begging him to do for weeks. He was more aggressive. How many times did he put a pass on a receiver with a receiver right on their back? He did it with D-Hop a few times. He did it to Juju on the play that Jawan Taylor got a holding call, or I think Wanye, one of them got a holding call. Mm-hmm. So he actually was more aggressive with his ball placement, and he looked like he was slinging the ball today, not aiming the ball. So I'll give him that. So I felt like Mahomes trusted his receivers more. Justin Watson dropped one he should have caught, but he did go back to Justin Watson later, and Watson made a catch.
Kelsey had a drop too.
Right. I think Mahomes relied on the receivers, actually threw it in more tight spots today, let his receivers have a chance to make a play. And I thought for the most part they rewarded him. I'll say one of the worst passes Mahomes threw all day was the little dump down pass to Xavier Worthy when he was running that little crossing route to the edge, and he kind of threw it behind him. Worthy had to kind of slow down, turn the ball. But I think the defender caused that. I don't think that was Mahomes.
Oh. Just real quick, kind of off subject, but on what planet was that intentional grounding on Mahomes?
I didn't see how it was.
Literally, the receiver was within a yard of the ball. It doesn't even matter.
Well, they were saying he didn't get it back to the line.
It doesn't matter if there's a receiver there.
Well, the whole point of that thing just made zero sense to me.
That was weird.
I heard the announcer on TV, Charles Davis, who is literally one of the most cringe announcers in the history of the game.
Yeah.
Charles Davis. Bad. This dude said the ball didn't look catchable. When has that ever been a factor on a...
It's not. It's not. That was a terrible call. I just had to bring that up.
That was horrible.
Another thing that I want to bring up while you're talking about, different little things here. One thing that kind of irritated me early in the game was red zone opportunities and DeAndre Hopkins standing on the sidelines. Like, wake the hell up, Andy Reid and company. Like, you have the best red zone target. One of the best red zone targets in the history of football.
He fixed that, though.
But he did. That's what I was going to say.
He did fix it.
They finally went to... Mahomes actually threw up a 50-50 ball to him, which was pass interference and not called. And then he got the touchdown pass to him, too. So I'm glad to see that they finally opened their eyes up to that one a little bit. I would like to see that more often. Like, if we're in the red zone, can we maybe not do so many trick plays and just throw the damn ball to DeAndre Hopkins or Travis Kelce and let them make a play?
Right. Look, the first couple possessions when they were taking him out, I seen Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest. Matt Derrick does good work. I understand it. I disagreed. I don't think he was trying to make an excuse, but he was trying to let people know why Andy Reid did it. And he said, well, he's only been here 4 weeks. He don't know all the plays. Andy wanted to call a play that he wasn't in on. Look, whatever Andy Reid was going to call in that position did not work, okay? It is not smart to call a play with your best red zone target. If your best red zone target don't know the play, find another play.
Yeah. Or
find a play with
stand
your
up there
best
and be a
red
decoy.
zone target.
I mean, something.
That was my point. So Matt Derrick tried to say that, and I just told him straight up. I was like, well, find another play. D-Hop is more important. D-Hop's presence on the field in the red zone is more important than the stupid play that Andy Reid pulled out. That did not work, by the way, 3 times.
Absolutely.
Like, why go to Juju in the red zone over D-Hop makes no sense to me. So, but they did fix it. Credit Andy, credit everybody else. They seen the error. They fixed it. That's a positive.
They did. Mike, do you hear that, baby? It's a little gifted membership train rolling in here. Pops with the 5 gifted. Appreciate you, old man. You all get those. Make sure to thank him in the chat. Show him some love in the chat. Pops in the house. Pops wasn't too happy with this team today either.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't watch with Pops today because Pops didn't want to get out of the house, still recovering from surgery. But
I feel like Pops might have broke some stuff today.
I feel like Pops could have probably broke his other hand.
Yeah, he had to calm down. He had to rethink life for a minute.
Pops,
recovering here.
Step away from the blue chew. Okay, calm down just a little bit.
Appreciate it, old man. Yeah, but just frustrating. I think frustrating is the perfect word for this team. Like, it's kind of like, if you could just describe this team in one word, that has to be it. Because, like, we talked about earlier, like, the defense isn't as good as last year, but they pretty much are the same defense. And then the offense, you have way better pieces this year. We're literally over here complaining about not putting one of the best receivers to ever play football in the red zone. Like, that means we have one on our team. And then we also have Travis Kelce. We have Noah Gray stepping up to the plate. We have Xavier Worthy playing pretty well for a rookie receiver. Granted, our tackles suck, but I mean, come on, man. Like, it's just frustrating that things can't click. I feel like this is a team that should be beating teams convincingly every week. I feel like every week, no matter who they line up from, whether it was the Buffalo Bills or it was the lowly Carolina Panthers, I think the Chiefs are the better team. Like, if you just look at it player for player, they are the better team every week. And I feel like eventually you got to start showing that. You got to start asserting some dominance here and winning some damn games convincingly.
100%. Another positive, Schrader, the field goal kicker, man. I thought he's looked pretty good these 2 weeks filled in for Bucker. He's not missed anything. He's looked fine. You know, what more can you ask from him? So shout out to the Fighting Irish alum and the South Florida Bull alum. How about that?
Shout out. Oh, Schrader out there kicking balls.
Schrader doing the Lord's work.
Gamer player with the 10 bomb says, good call earlier, guys. Faster plays to cover our poor offensive tackle play. That and motivation. Well, that's the thing. If you have an obvious weakness, you try to cover that up. And I feel like we haven't done that. We just let people exploit it. Like straight up. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We have allowed people to exploit our bad tackles.
There's no way around that. You just said.
It's also kind of hard to cover up.
The fact that you can pull up a stat that says Kingsley Suamataia was on an island for 75% of his first 2 games in the NFL is 100% proof that they are not catering the offense in the ways they need to do to help some of the guys that are struggling. Like, they're just kind of going about their business. And it's just not working. Like, you have to address – it's not a bad thing to address what your problems are and try to work around them. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not winning beauty pageants all the time, right? So I'm not going to go enter one.
But why, Mike? You're so beautiful.
I quit.
The little creak of the microphone stand there just said it all.
That was my soul leaving my body.
Wah, wah. David Howe says, you boys are lucky to have a good dad. We are, because he is the greatest dad of all time, and we're very appreciative of that. Old man takes care of his boys. 31 Red Ball with the 5 bomb. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the support. But yeah, Mike, just frustrating. How else can you put it?
Yeah, but man, look, it sucks, but at least they win. They go on. We got 6, 7 more games to try to get it together.
Once again, for the probably 10th straight week.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
We're in good position. We're in the position. What we have the opportunity to turn this on and just run away with this thing and have a three-peat. We do. We have the team to do it. It's just like something's not quite clicking. They just got to find the one little thing that's going to spin this thing into the direction it needs to be in.
Yeah, I agree, man. But I think we've harped on it enough today. I think
you want to give us some game balls?
Let's give game balls out.
Some game balls.
I mean, I'll go ahead and give my game ball to Mahomes. I mean, I feel like he had a pretty good game today. He was getting the crap kicked out of him, but he throws 3 touchdowns. He puts up almost 300 yards. And
that run at the end. It's funny because Mahomes covers up so much bad stuff with this team. And like we've dove into Mahomes isn't having his greatest year and what piece of the pie does he have in this team not being good, and maybe he's not looked as good as he has. But just things like that run at the end of the game is just the epitome of Patrick Mahomes covering up a lot of bad things on this team sometimes. So, I mean, like Mike, when he broke that run off, like I even texted you, it's just like, of course that's what he did. Yeah. It's the team can play like dog water all day and barely beat the worst team in football, but Mahomes is going to make sure they win it, and then people are going to forget about that because, Mahomes is great.
Yeah, that's why Patrick Mahomes is the difference maker.
Yeah.
Like games that other teams should lose, we don't because Patrick Mahomes covers it up.
I'm with you, Mahomes game ball, but I'll go ahead and give mine for the sake of being different to Noah Gray for continuing to show up and be a weapon for the offense. So we'll do that. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Not a whole lot to be happy about on the defensive side of the ball, but do you have anybody you'd give a game ball to on that end?
Dude, the defense stunk today. Like
this is a tough task
out
right here.
Stunk, dude. So I'm gonna have to think about this for a slight second because the first person that comes to mind, in my opinion, might be Mike Dana. I thought he looked pretty good today. 4 solo tackles and a sack and a tackle for a loss. He had a QB hit. I would say McDuffie, but McDuffie He led up one. He got called for a PI in the end zone there on the 2-point conversion.
I'm going to give my game ball to Justin Reed because he got robbed of a very, very good play in the back of the end zone. It was beautiful. He's just hitting people. He's just playing good hitting
Yeah,
people.
he had 6 total tackles today. I mean, that's what he did.
Well, I will say this.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Mike Dana.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that's probably the proper choice. But I just do want to bring up that Justin Reed is one of the few players that looks like he's playing with some passion. Like he's out there hitting people. He looks pumped. He's getting in other people's phases. I'd like to see more of that across the board.
Steve, give me Chris Jones' stat line without looking at it across the board today. How much tackles, everything you think he had today?
I think he got blanked.
0s across the board.
Yep. I didn't look. I really didn't look. That's just
he had 1 QB hit. 0s across the board, man.
It's tough, man. And I understand, people are really focusing on Chris Jones. You have to game plan around Chris Jones. I understand all that. But at the same time, big boy, you just took a massive contract. Massive. Like, you got to step up. You got to do more. And it's probably not fair to say that the way he gets pinpointed. But at the same time, it's like you got to make it happen, dude.
Yeah, Richie says McDuffie got a sack. They actually give them a half. They give Bolton the other half. So they only attribute him a half sack on that one. Did you think at the end of the day that the Chiefs defense would have 2 sacks and the Panthers defense would have 5?
It doesn't surprise me at this point. But, I mean, no, before the game, Mike, I said 35-10. And I thought I was being generous giving them 10 points because I thought our defense would actually keep the worst team in football, the worst offensive football, from scoring 27 freaking points. But, boy, was I wrong. Like, I don't know. It's just.
Hey, when we started the fourth quarter today, the score was my exact score, 27-16. And I said 2 weeks in a row, and then, of course, not.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we just need to keep an eye on this. I think that. I mean, that's the thing. We talk about this stuff every week, and we know that Andy Reid and crew go out and give the same manufactured garbage answers to the media every week. But they have to be seeing. I mean, anybody with 2 eyes and a brain is seeing that there are some problems with this team. So, Andy Reid is focused in on getting these things fixed, getting some things shored up in this team. So, I think it's just at this point we have to look at a week to week thing, right? Like, what are they going to improve on? We have seen the offense, like you said, it's been a slow trend up, but we have seen them trend up. It's getting a little better. So I think just week to week, we just have to kind of see what are they shoring up before the playoffs, and it'll be interesting to see how this team is looking against the Raiders come Black Friday.
Yeah, I'm with you. Somebody asked a question in the chat. I was trying to look it up really quick. Where'd it go? Dylan asked this. I'll take this one. So the Chiefs done try to get Josh Williams at CB2.
Seems that
it
way.
Feels like it, and I don't understand it.
I mean,
it
with Najee Johnson playing the way
is.
he's playing, and they keep letting him do it, that's kind of strange. Yep.
Right. Red asked, why can't George get more pressures if CJ's getting doubled? No idea. George Karlaftis today had 3 pressures. He had 5 last week versus Buffalo. Pretty good. But then versus Tampa Bay and Denver, he had 1 each. So over the last 4 games, George Karlaftis only had 10 pressures, guys. Like, what has happened to George? Where did Furious George go? He was supposed to, this was going to be the year he was going to hit 15 to 20 sacks. And instead, George has just kind of disappeared. He's got 38 total pressures and 4 sacks on the season. And we are literally going into week 13. Like, I don't understand it. And this is with Chris Jones getting double and triple teams all the time.
Yeah.
So could Mike have been right this entire time of saying that George Karlaftis might not be a true number 1 guy? He's very good, but we needed more pass rush.
Right.
I'm never going to let anybody let that go. I harped on pass rush all offseason, man. I just thought we needed it, and everybody's like, well, we're fine. We're gonna get what's his name back mid-season. Here, going into week 13, and Omenihu might open up his practice.
I hope Omenihu is effective as he was.
Me too, but coming off of an injury or coming off of a suspension is 2 different things.
You can't expect it, but let's hope.
Let's hope he's back.
Yep, yeah. Well, appreciate you guys being here today. The Chiefs are 10-1. No matter what it sounds like, the Chiefs are 10-1. They have the best record in football, or they share that anyway with the Detroit Lions. Still in the driver's seat to that 1 seed in the AFC. It's just we want to see this team get to their full potential. I think that's the thing. Like I said, it's frustrating. It's a little bit disappointing because I feel like this team can be a very dominant team. They have the pieces there. It's just very frustrating to watch them not fall into place. So keep on holding on to that faith that each week we'll see it get more and more there, and then come playoff time, it's going to be a good run. Appreciate you all being here today. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that as well. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers before the Super Bowl. It's free. And if you don't care about free, up here, you can see you can become a member for just $4.99. Hit that join button or go to join.allchiefedup.com. Become a member of the ACU crew. Help support the channel. Also, you can go to merch.allchiefedup.com. Get yourself one of those beautiful Merry Chief Smith sweaters and use the code ACU Santa at checkout, and you'll get 20% off everything in the store, and that's up till the end of the year. But if you want those Merry Chief Smith shirts for the holiday season, you need to go ahead and get on that. That way you get it in time. But once again, appreciate you guys being here. 10-1. We'll stop ranting now. Enjoy your day.
We'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll talk about it more in the morning. So we'll catch you guys there. Go Chiefs.
Heaven was a sight from my soul.